It's not just you. We've all been in this place where we feel lost, lazy, and unmotivated, from grade school and all the way to our working lives. Some days you just feel like doing nothing. But what we're talking about isn't just missing a deadline or two. It's having this feeling of unworthiness for extended periods of time. If you want to break out of the cycle, keep watching. Brené Brown has done a lot of work in understanding why we feel this way, the reasons behind these emotions, and how we can work through them. She's written several books. These include The Gifts of Imperfection, Daring Greatly, Rising Strong, and the latest one, Braving the Wilderness. Brené's work has been featured in dozens of academic journals, and her TED Talk has millions of views. Fair to assume that she knows what she's talking about. Before we dive into what she has to say, make sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons. Let's jump in. Number 1. Feeling lost is completely natural. Being lost, or that feeling of being directionless, is not rare. Neither new. Humans have felt that way for ages. In fact, it's very much a part of the human experience. Brené says that this is what allows us to grow and develop. When we feel this way, the response is often to find a solution. Feeling lost can be good because it can lead to personal growth, self-discovery, and a deeper understanding of ourselves and our values. When we feel lost, we are often forced to confront our beliefs, assumptions, and expectations about ourselves and the world around us. This can be uncomfortable and challenging. It can also be an opportunity for self-reflection, exploration, and transformation. Feeling lost can be a catalyst for change. It can motivate us to seek new experiences, learn new skills, and take risks we might not have considered before. So embrace uncertainty and be willing to take risks. You'll discover new passions, interests, and directions that we might not have otherwise explored. Feeling lost can also remind us of our humanity. It reminds us that we are imperfect and vulnerable. It can help us to develop greater empathy and understanding for others who may be struggling with their own sense of purpose or direction. By acknowledging and embracing our own feelings of being lost, we can become more compassionate and supportive toward ourselves and others. But more on compassion later in the video, so keep watching. Number 2. These feelings of being lost stem from feeling disconnected. Now, this disconnect that Brené talks about is not a social disconnect. In fact, it's a personal one. This is a disconnect from our inner self, from ourselves, and our values. It's about not being entirely true to ourselves. The solution lies in cultivating self-awareness and reconnecting with our core beliefs. She encourages us to explore their emotions and experiences. We must use our vulnerability to build deeper connections with others. This will allow us to overcome that disconnect. In fact, Brené has written extensively about the topic. She defines vulnerability as the willingness to show up and be seen. Building authentic connections with others is essential, even without guarantees. It leads to living a meaningful and fulfilling life. We are afraid to show up as our true selves. We hide behind a facade because we fear people won't accept or love us. Tapping into that vulnerability can help connect us to our authentic selves. We must embrace our imperfections, weaknesses, and struggles. This is the key to finding our path. Vulnerability is not a sign of weakness. Instead, it is a sign of courage and strength. By embracing vulnerability and being willing to take emotional risks, we can unlock our full potential as human beings. This is essential for building authentic relationships. It fosters creativity and innovation. More importantly, it's about living a wholesome and fulfilling life. So embrace vulnerability as a strength rather than a weakness. Recognize that it is a necessary part of the human experience. Number 3. Many of us lack a sense of belonging. Brené Brown describes it as a basic human need. She says that belonging is the sense of being connected to others in a way that is authentic, meaningful, and fulfilling. There's also the concept of true belonging. This is a sense of belonging to oneself first and foremost. It requires us to be willing to stand alone, to be ourselves, even when it may not be popular or accepted, and to resist the urge to conform to others' expectations or opinions. True belonging doesn't require us to agree with others or to share the same beliefs or values. Instead, it involves listening to others with an open mind and engaging in dialogue and debate. It's also about recognizing that our differences make us unique and valuable. Belonging is a crucial component of human happiness and well-being. It's something that we all need to cultivate in our lives. She encourages us to embrace our true selves. We must resist the pressure to conform or fit in. Instead, seek out authentic connections with others that are based on mutual respect, understanding, and empathy. Number 4. Laziness is not the problem. Brené says the concept of laziness is more of a misguided label. It signals some other underlying issues. These are feelings of fear, overwhelm, and burnout. Using the word lazy doesn't help. It perpetuates negative self-talk and brings up feelings of shame. Instead, Brené suggests that individuals who struggle with laziness should take a compassionate and curious approach. They should try to understand the underlying causes of their behavior. For example, someone who is avoiding a task may be experiencing fear of failure, or she may feel overwhelmed by the task's size or complexity. We must examine their feelings and motivations with curiosity and compassion, then make small, incremental steps towards their goals. Progress is often slow, but it's important to celebrate even small successes along the way. Brené's approach to laziness is focused on understanding and addressing the underlying causes of the behavior instead of just labeling it as a character flaw or personal failing. Number 5. The root cause is shame. As terrible as it may seem, shame is also a very natural human experience. It's just like feeling lost or all those things that make us lazy. Shame is the intense feeling that arises when we believe that we are flawed, unworthy, or inadequate in some way. Many experiences can trigger shame, including social rejection, criticism, failure, and even success. Now, shame is different from guilt, which is the feeling of regret that arises when we have done something wrong. Guilt can be a healthy emotion that motivates us to make amends and to improve ourselves. On the other hand, shame is a destructive emotion that leads us to hide our true selves. It causes us to disconnect from others. To address shame, Brené suggests we must first recognize and acknowledge its presence in our lives. This requires developing a greater awareness of our emotions and internal experiences and being willing to share our vulnerabilities and struggles with trusted others. Number 6, practice compassion and empathy towards yourself. The next step in dealing with our shame is to be kinder to ourselves. Cultivating self-compassion involves treating ourselves with kindness and understanding, especially when we fall short of our expectations. By developing greater self-compassion, we can begin to recognize our inherent worth and value as human beings. Self-compassion is about recognizing and accepting our imperfections. It's about treating ourselves with the same kindness and understanding we offer to a struggling close friend or family member. Self-compassion involves acknowledging our pain and suffering and responding with warmth, comfort, and care. Brené suggests several practices to cultivate compassion. Treat yourself with kindness, understanding, and acceptance, even when you make mistakes or fall short of your expectations. These negative feelings are all very human. We've all experienced them. The solution lies in tapping into our authentic selves. Own your vulnerability. It's what makes you who you are. Show up for yourself. This means being compassionate and kind towards yourself. Oh, and this is probably Brené's most important advice: uncertainty is a necessary part of life, so don't resist it. This leads to greater resilience and even creativity in your life. So there you have it. Lots to think about and even more to do about feeling lost, lazy, and unmotivated. That's it. What's the first thing you'll apply starting today? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss more psychology facts, tips, hacks, and so much more. Check out this playlist of my top 5 videos on self-improvement, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.